Hi everybody, I wanted to do something as a special treat. This is a reading for Gemini for April 2022, and I've not long been doing this channel, and Gemini is the reading with the most views. I really appreciate that, so I thought I would do your reading for April 1st. I might not get through them all. I've got a job, I've got a family, so it's a bit tricky. This is a general read, so take what resonates. Who knows what's coming? That's the whole point of tarot. I think it's a great. I always think of it as a finger post in the mist. You go, is that a tree or a person or a sign? And you walk a bit closer towards. You go, oh, it's a sign. You get a bit closer and you go, oh, it's a sign pointing left. And you get a bit closer still. And it says, oh, it's a sign pointing left. And it's saying the village is down the hill. And you get a bit closer and it goes, it's 3 miles away. So the more you step forward with the tarot, the more it gives back, I think. I think it's a great tool for that reason, for clarity. I'm not psychic. I don't know what's coming up. If I was psychic, I'd have won the lottery by now, wouldn't I? Anyway, Gemini, I really appreciate your support. So I'm going to jump straight in and do a reading for April for you guys and gals. This is Destiny. In other decks, it's the Wheel of Fortune. I'm not going to read it as the Wheel of Fortune. I'm going to read it as Destiny because I think that's quite important. That if you use a deck and the readings that go with the information that goes with the cards should, generally speaking, be the reading that you use. So this is this sort of all these strands of fate, and the fact this thing is not of this earth. He's pointing. The triangles up and down are above and below. That's our world that he's sat above. So the triangles are heaven and earth, as above so below, conscious, subconscious, and it's talking about how unpredictable this is. We don't know what's coming. This month is literally, I have no idea how this reading is going to go next because it doesn't tell you, but it will be unpredictable. Could be life altering, could be just another month. Okay, we've got the Lovers over the top of that. Obviously the standard kind of lovers of attraction, possibly obsession. I love this sort of red string of fate that's going on here, and the idea that these are always supposed to be together. Again, you see the prism triangle, as above so below, yin and yang, the opposites. One of the one word I would use with tarot is balance. It's about finding that balance in your life. Eat too much, that's not good for you. Exercise too much is not good for you. Work too hard, it's not good for you. Spend all your time with your children, not your partner, is not good for you. And so it goes on. It's all about finding the balance. But in this that's tarot generally. But the thing that's crossing you, so this is the situation, this is what opposes it, is that red string of fate that ties those two together. And in this particular deck, it talks about, do you go with that person now, or do you risk going your separate ways and it finds you in the future? And it mentions in the book, there are a lot of it tends to be Middle East, Far East kind of stories that they tell about the red string of fate. I mean, it's in many cultures, and I think one of them said, someone throws a stone at someone else, and years later they marry somebody with a mysterious scar on the forehead. It's like, oh, it was all supposed to happen. I love that to me, fate is fate you choosing what to do every day, so you've got free will, or is your fate to be prime minister, and whatever you do, you'll end up being prime minister? Even if you end up going to prison for fraud, you'd end up being prime minister. Or do you do lots of good and end up being prime minister? But whichever path you take, you end up at the same destination. Or is destiny and fate, we come to a crossroads, and left is prison and right is being prime minister, and whichever path you choose then becomes fate. It's a really interesting question. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Fantastic card. In the recent past, you've got the world. This is the culmination of the Fool's Journey, so it's the last of the major arcana. Again, such a beautiful deck, this. Butterflies for swords, feathers, plants, and fish for the other three. I think fish are cups, feathers, yeah, feathers are wands, and plants, or is it plants are wands with feathers, or pentacles? Anyway, the point is, she has, you know, everything around her. It's a really good positive card. There's a portal in a more traditional reading where you've kind of stepped through to the next chapter, but really it's about, okay, the fool went on his journey, he knew nothing, and now he's had lots of trials and tribulations. He's met the lovers, he's experienced death, he's met the hanged man about self-sacrifice, so he's gone on this fantastic journey, and at the end of it he is hopefully a better person, and then you start all over again. Now this journey can take an hour, it can take a week, it can take a lifetime, but you know, all of our all of our experiences are cyclical. You know, we have a relationship, it doesn't work out, we have another relationship, it works better, and that's just a training exercise. It's like, you know, we get better and better at life as we go along. In the near future, we have the Emperor, solid, loyal, dependable, a real bedrock, you know. So what's happened in the recent past has been fantastic. I don't know what it is, but it's been really good, Gemini. That's great. And coming forwards, you've got this real dependability. I love this. I love this for any reading, really. Oh, what a great card. Really getting into this card. She's appeared a few times. The Page of Wands, she's actually creating this portal. There you go, that's better. She's creating this portal, and she's just about to jump through it. She's like a Indiana Jones kind of mentality. You know, what are you going to do today? Who knows? Real kind of fool energy as well. Just jump in with both feet. And there's a joyful unpredictability and excitement about this card. And again, that's the sort of root of the matter and going away out of the month, because these are sort of past going away, and this is the stuff coming forward and going to the future. So the head of the matter. So you've got 4 major arcana so far. Really powerful reading. Another great card. This is one of those cards that reads the same in every single deck. It's just how it's treated, and it's not about a physical strength. It's about, it's not. I don't even think it's a mental strength. I think it's the strength of. I know some people are going to go with this and some not. It's almost like the strength of your soul. You know, this woman here, there's all arrows and there's all halberds and swords in the background there, and she is literally standing up for something that can't stand up for itself, even though it's terrifying. She's gone into the lion's den almost and just stood in front of everyone else, gone, no, you're not doing this anymore. She's breaking the arrows with one hand. The infinity symbol over her head is like, I can do this all day. And she's got the olive branch that's raining down on the snake, and the snake is not threatening. You know, there's a sword on the floor as well. She's put the sword down. She doesn't need it. This is, you know, any situation you've got coming up this month, this is your card. This is going to get you through absolutely anything. That is so powerful. All of this is a really, really powerful energy. You know, you've had some fantastic news there. This unpredictability is, you know, for destiny. No one knows what's coming. You know, as has been proven in recent events. We just don't know what our lives and our world's going to look like tomorrow. But what it's saying is, you know, you could not be more prepared for it. I mean, there's a whole load of strength here, and this kind of joyful exuberance of just jumping in somewhere. So this is you. This is where you're going to find yourself. This is the Queen of Swords, which is like the justice of the minor arcana. I'm Libra, which is hard to say, and that's another one of my cards, because obviously justice is the Libra card in the major arcana. And again, she's got a sword pointing up and one pointing down. That one in her left hand is actually going through a hand, and it's this sort of, you will be judged. You know, there's honesty and truth here and clarity. A really good position to find yourselves in. Not hopes and fears. How other people see the situation. Fantastic. I mean, the 10 of Cups in a traditional read is like a family sat in a courtyard. There's a couple of greyhounds there. There's pentacles all over the card. and it's about generational wealth, but not necessarily money, although there are coins on here. I mean, this one is depicting you've got to be pretty darn well off to own a white elephant. You know, they're the most expensive of all the elephants. And again, those trees in the background, they've been growing for hundreds of years. You know, so there's that real sense of generational stability. That's what it is. So whatever's been thrown at you this week, I'm just making sure that doesn't slide too far off. It's just really, really positive, really powerful stuff. I like this. I like this a lot. Hopes and fears next. Okay, you got the nightmare card. Whatever's bothering you, don't worry about it. It's literally it's it's not true. If you look at this, there's like blood pouring out of this rabbit. That's not blood. It's rose petals, and it's a dream that sword there is almost invisible as it comes out of the rabbit, and the swords in the background have all got different hilts on them. And what that's talking about is there are lots of things, lots of issues that niggle away at us. We just pull one out of the box and go, today or tonight I'm going to worry about this one. Don't worry, it's just a dream. You know, it's one of those cards I find quite niggling. There you go. It's quite irritating because it's a niggling little card. It's really not that bad, but it does. It upsets people too much. It's like, yeah, it's a fear. We all have nightmares, night terrors, whatever you want to call them, and it's just your brain kind of processing something that needs to be processed. So just processing, get it out the door. You know, you've got all the strength you need for this. You know that it's strength, it's clarity. So this month, I think you need to just be, what's the word? Just believe you've got it. You know, yeah, that's what it is. You know, sometimes people can think. I don't know why I scratched myself then. Sometimes people can think they can do something, so they do it. Harry Potter did it in the book where he conjured up the Patronus for the first time. He said, I knew I could do it because I'd seen someone do it before, and it was a time turner thing. It was actually him. So if you believe you can run a marathon, you can run a marathon. There are people with no legs who've done marathons. There are people in wheelchairs. There are children. There are very old people. There are people recovering from a stroke. You know, so there's all that kind of power and energy here. And again, if this was a relationship read, it's all about you've got the full strength. You know, whatever comes at you that you're not expecting, you've got this. You know, you want to be with this person, you want to be together, or you're going to be together, and you've just got that real core strength of, I don't care what anybody else says, this is what I'm going to do. In your near future, you've got that strength again, so it's doubling down almost. And then you've got this lovely kind of clarity of doing what's right, doing the right thing. Yeah, and you know you should be with someone, or you should take the job, or you should be nicer to your neighbours. It can be a very small thing, but it's just this clarity. And again, other people see that as, you know, that's your core, something you've been doing for years. It's just you. You know, this card talks about how it talks about stability, how stable these people are in this card. You know, there's money to go around. I think often we can find there's very little money we need to actually do what we want to do. But yeah, we can get into that a bit deeper in other reads. That's not what this one's about. And then finally, your outcome is the moon. So it's about, I mean, this is a great card. That massive hand there looks quite intimidating, but it's actually her hand here pointing down. And you go, oh, that's weird. So she's kind of manipulating the scene. But there's a lot of untapped energy. All this water pouring out there, that's potential energy this month. And that sits with the strength that you've got at the moment. I'm just going to have to bring this down a bit. Done a slightly higher camera angle today. And that ties in really nicely with, you know, the strength card. So that's a wonderful reading. I'm wondering whether to clarify the moon or not, but I'm not sure that I do. Energy on the bottom. 9 of Wands. This is, I mean, sometimes these cards in this deck can be quite difficult to read. Some other decks every single card is a story, but this one's great, isn't it? You know, this wolf is cornered and there's blood on them. They've been in some kind of battle. But I have to say, I wouldn't take on a cornered wolf, would you? You know, that they come out fighting. They've got an abundance of strength. They've got an abundance of strength. You know, they're doing what is right. So it's this, this, and this. And then you've got this lovely card at the bottom just sat there. Just keeps calling me back in. I just love this, you know. Wouldn't it be great if you could make a portal for yourself and just think to yourself, where would you go? You know, I'm not talking about going back in time or anything, but if you could, you know, could you go across country and see your grandparents, or would you go across the other side of the world because you want to sit on a beach in some sunshine? Do you want to be on top of a mountain so you can think about stuff? You know, so that's a really nice card there. So Gemini, this is a really good reading for April. I think you're in for something's going to happen. We don't know what, but whatever it throws at you, you know, you've got the power in spades to actually manage this. The one thing about the moon card that I do remember is it can sometimes be a card of illusion. So just be careful that what is happening is actually the truth, you know, because sometimes the moon can be a little bit two-faced and maybe you're not getting the full story. So those two cards are literally linked. So remember what we said about the nightmare card. It's just a nightmare, it's not real. And then the moon, I think you just need to ask, is this real? And again, you've got this fate coming through. So is this a real situation? So as long as you just double check that it is really a thing and it really is going to happen, you've got the strength and space to just knock it out of the park. Right, I'll see you again on Sunday for a general read, and we'll do another monthly one in March, April, May. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit with me for this reading. Gemini, have a fantastic April. I know it's going to be great, and I will see you for the next one. Take care.